a little bit about your story and how you went to steps and all that for you. Glad you came down, dude. Appreciate it.
See, we look nothing alike, right?
See, you mimicked the haircut and everything.
Yeah. There was actually, it's funny that he says that because there was a moment in my business when people would say, "Oh, it's little Stephen Gregg, it's little Stephen Gregg," and I was like, so I didn't even think about that. That we do walk alike, I think now. We do talk alike, and we got the same jokes. But you know, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I'd spent the next 12, 13 years of my life in the music industry, pursuing my passion, living my dreams, and I made my millions by the time I was 30. I built this really nice company, and I thought I had this amazing momentum going on, and my idea was I was going to do what I was doing for about 4 more years, and then nobody was ever going to hear from me again. I was going to cash out and go to an island somewhere. That's how good it was going. And then, you know, there's a few events that occurred in our world that kind of derailed that. You know, there were the events of the dot-com crash right at the end of the 90s, and people's pockets kind of tightened up and they weren't spending as much money on entertainment and music and that sort. And then the events of 9/11 hit, where my music distributor was only about 4 blocks away from ground zero. So it put them out of commission for about 6 months. And you know, when your distributor's not shipping product and they're not sending out the billing, they're not paying you. So I had about 6 months of this amazing overhead that I had to carry, and that almost ruined me. But fortunately, we got right back up on, the distributor got back up on their feet and started to go again. And then this little thing called Napster came along. You heard of Napster? Yeah. The digital download completely destroyed the CD distributor, and that's what I did. So I had to start life completely all over from scratch. And I had to go through a period of learning, a period of humility, because I really felt I'd built $1 million business. I'm smart. I'm significant. And, you know, and after about a year searching for a job, I found out there was very little demand in our society for a out-of-work music executive, a music entrepreneur. And I ended up bagging groceries for about 6 months at Ralph's. And that was a time where it was really, 34, I had to really suck it up. What was I going to do that was going to recreate the type of lifestyle that I'd become accustomed to? And somewhere along the line, someone whispered in my ear that real estate is where the money's at. And so I was like, okay, well, if that's where the money's at, that's where I'm going, because I really miss my money. And so I did what I thought the logical thing was. I went and got a real estate license. Anybody done that before? Got a couple of them, okay. So I got Rookie of the Year my first year. I was totally determined. I did better the second year, better the third, better the fourth. And then just kind of looked up one day and was like, okay, I've got a little bit of the money back, but I have no life. I am working 7 days a week. I've got to do something else. And I don't know what they were meant when they said real estate is where the money's at, because it's not really here. But I was fortunate enough to have a couple clients right at the end of my agent career that gave me repeat business. They gave me that business over and over and over again. And I realized that I think that's the side of the desk I was supposed to be on. Because they were the best clients I'd ever had. They did not dispute my commissions. I always got my 6%, always got my 7%, no problem. But they were always taking off for the weekend while I held their houses open. And then when I saw the final statements, they were making 25 and 30%. It's like, that's what I was supposed to do. So for those of you that do have a license, you know that getting educated in real estate investing is not what getting a license is all about. In fact, they don't even show you how to buy and sell houses for your clients, do they? You got to go learn that on your own. So I went out and took it upon myself. I'm going to go learn real estate investing, and that stumbled across the company called Nouveau Riche. Maybe you've heard of it. And I was like, okay, $22,000 for a 2-year program. I'm in. I'm going to become a real estate investor. And then I heard about this little referral program they had on the side. And they paid $10,000 for every student that you referred. But you had to go through this mentoring thing, and you had to go through this, what do they call it, certification. So I had to give away my first 4 sales. So I teamed up with the person that introduced me to the information, and you know, I got certified probably, I don't know, 40 days or so. But you know what they did is they really made me, like, they were actually good mentors in the sense that they were good at getting my sales out of me. In the sense that they made me feel like I was really lagging, like I was a real loser, like I wasn't moving fast enough. And but as soon as my certification was done, that mentor abandoned me and left me. And they closed all my business for me. I never really got to see what the close looked like. And for about 8 months, and I was getting to this point where I'm smart. I've built this type of stuff before. I know exactly what I'm doing. And someone said, were you straight from the basics? I think it was you, and you just went. I stopped doing the basics and was focusing on what I used to build big business. I was getting really creative with all kinds of things, spending lots of money on marketing and all this stuff. And after 8 months, I was like, this is not working. I hadn't enrolled anybody into the business in that 8 months on my own. And just like Mercedes, probably the same way she found Stephen, heard about this guy. And it was funny because there was a guy in our business named Stephen Gregg and a guy named Stephen Clegg. And I didn't understand when people would say their names. I thought it was all the same guy. So Stephen Clegg was this, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4" white guy. And I went down to this training to meet this guy Stephen Gregg, or Clegg, whoever it was. I didn't really care. But I just knew people were making a lot of money in the business. So I came across this training, and they were filming the training very much like they're doing it today. And it was the Fast Start training. I don't even know if you knew I was there. And I sat in the front row, and I was watching this guy, and I was like, where's this guy Stephen Clegg? I drove all the way down from Los Angeles to see this guy Stephen Clegg. Stephen Gregg. I thought they were the same person. And so he's up there, and he's saying some stuff, and I'm like, that's so simple. I came down here for the advanced training. Where's the guy that's making millions of dollars? And I sat through that whole training for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And after it was all done, he walked out of the room, and I was like, where's that Stephen Gregg guy? He just left. That was him. I was like, that guy? That guy did all this? And so I was like, okay, let me figure this out. So I went down, I called him up or sent him an email or something. I said, hey, I want to come down to your office and learn. He said, come on down anytime you want. He was very aloof with me for a very long time. In fact, he called me Tom for... It took about 8 months before he knew my name. But I was there at every single training, and I sat in the back, I was really quiet, sat there with my white paper and blue ink. You all got your white paper, blue ink? Yeah. Okay, good. Sat there with my white paper, blue ink, took notes, and I would take this information, and then I'd watch his presentations, and I went up and start to build my business where I was in the South Bay. And all of a sudden, my business started to build. I started to actually make sales by just sticking to the basics, by just sticking to the 10 steps that he was teaching. And then I started teaching my team the 10 steps. And so in about a year or so, that went on, and am I going too long? No. Okay, good. You guys bored? No. Because I'm having a great time up here. If you're bored. So after that year, we kind of had this restart our business. We restart our business every 90 days, and it was the beginning of the year. And look back, and Stephen had hit number 4 in the company. He made $450,000 in that year. $650. Well, he did it twice, so I'm not sure it was which. And I looked at it, and I asked Stephen, so how many people did you personally enroll? And he said, I don't know, 2 or 3. I had personally enrolled 12 people that year. I made $100,000. He made $600,000. So that really started to make me look, okay, let's stop trying to work in my business. Let's start to change my focus and build a business. And I don't know if he's gone over steps 9 and 10, but those are probably the 2 most important steps in your business. Because Stephen hardly worked that year, and he made $600,000. That was really impressive to me. And I worked really, really hard and made $100,000. So I took that on and started to duplicate, and then the economy hit and the financing and all that thing, and the company kind of started to go down. But what happened, because I knew the basics, when everybody was leaving our business, I was number 1 in our territory. Because I just kept on doing the basics. All of a sudden it wasn't as easy for everyone else that was making all this money, and the basics work. And these 10 steps have actually produced so much more after the fact, because now, just that whole experience is what's responsible for my book that I wrote, Do Over. I got 12 copies back there, so if you want one, they're $20 each. All right? But so much of that book is what I got from Stephen. And there wouldn't even have been a do-over for me unless I met Stephen. And I love the guy to death, and you guys are really blessed and fortunate to be in this free. I can't even, Mercedes goes, so how much do you charge people to get in here? I said, you can charge me. He's an amazing guy, big heart. And so since then, I've got 2 podcasts on iTunes that are doing really well. I've got a real estate investing school that I'm just launching. I wrote my book, and then Mercedes and I are kicking butt with the real estate, and we've just got it all building. It's those 10 steps that we just take wherever we go. And I've started in a new opportunity, which I'm really excited about. But like he said, he came to my training, and it was just the 10 steps. I was like, Stephen, you probably know all this, but you need to pay attention. Because we're starting over, and we're starting our business from scratch. I mean, even Stephen that teaches this stuff knows every 90 days that you got to start your business over again. And we've got a big event in Vegas next week. And he says, I said, Stephen, are you going to go? And he goes, well, I don't know. I said, do you really need the speech on how important it is to get to big events? And he says, oh, okay, I got you. So now I'm getting him there. Okay? He's going to be there. But that was the one thing that he taught me, and this is why it's so important. The person that makes, is pretty much everybody in some sort of network marketing or
direct sales
or something like that? Okay. The one thing he taught me, which I've taken, that has been responsible for more of my monetary success than anything else, is the person that makes the most money in this business, in this type of business, is not the person that talks to the most people. It's not the person that invites the most people. It's not the person that gets yeses to their invitations. It's the person that gets the most people to events. And that goes, it doesn't matter if it's a potential customer or if it's a team member. I think you said you have some of your team members here. That is the exact mindset each and every one of you need to have. So the next time you throw one of these free workshops, it is your duty, your business, your responsibility, not just to you, yourself, and your team, but your family, that you get every single person you can here. Because the person that gets the most butts in the seats is the person that makes the most money. Because I know you cannot leave here today without being fired up. How would you feel if there were 10 people on your team that left just as fired up as you were? And what would your next evening opportunity meeting look like? It's really, really important. And, you know, I could probably go on and teach the rest of the day for you, but I'm going to shut down. I'm eternally grateful for Stephen, and you guys are really lucky.
Can you just show them what your business card is for your business?
Oh, sure. I show busy professionals how to build a real estate portfolio in their spare time so they can retire in the next 3 to 5 years.
What type of opener would you use for this?
Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Brian, have you? Really? Why?
For retirement.
Retirement. Okay. And retirement's important to you? Yeah. Okay.
So invite me to something.
I will. So how many deals have you gotten involved in? 4 or 5? Okay.
Can't hear you.
He's done 4 or 5 deals. Okay? And Brian, are you investing as much as you want right now?
No.
Oh, you'd like to do more. Got it. So what would you say is the biggest thing that's standing in your way from you doing more?
The money.
The money. Got it. Okay. Well, you know, Brian, I don't know if this would make any sense to you or not, but on next Tuesday in Long Beach, we're having this private introduction for investors. It's not for the public, it's by invitation only. And if you'd like to, I can put you on my guest list, and I'll introduce you to some people that money used to be their issue as well. And I know they'd be excited to meet you, and I'd love to meet you for them. And I'll show you how you can start investing in real estate more than you're doing right now. Would you be open to that? Okay. So you'd like to go?
So when is it?
It's on Tuesday at noon in Long Beach.
Okay. I'd have to check my calendar.
Okay. Do you have your calendar with you right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to call you this evening when you have your calendar in front of you? Okay. Put 5 or 6 o'clock. You got it. 6. Okay. Do you have a card?
Can you tell them what the 4 quote leads are?
Yes. I sure can. This is yes. My business is the greatest income opportunity in the country. Everyone deserves a product. I'm doing them a favor by inviting them. It's their loss if they say no.
And what are the 4 levels of learning?
Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious confidence, and then unconscious confidence.
I'm not even going to ask for the tips, so I'm going to just tell them about that. They haven't heard that part yet. That's actually Bootcamp 2. That's the next one.
Please forget number 6 or 7.
Close.
All right. Define your dream, get a burning desire to achieve it. Make some commitments. Use the product. Get a prospect. Invite a prospect. Tell a story. Follow through. Answer questions. Follow through. Start them right and duplicate yourself. Okay.
Good man.
Good job.